Matoke. Let's keep on Matoke.
How you do it? Stop calling people Matoke. You're calling people banana.
Yeah. What up?
Ooh, I feel like I'm huffing and puffing.
Because you are a wolf. You
know,
will blow this house
you've
down.
You've probably... What? Sorry, I
I
talked
will
over
huff
you.
and I will puff.
Oh. You've probably never experienced this because you've always been on the slender side. But, you know, when you are walking up a hill and then you don't want people to know that the hill is killing you. And so you'll be like...
What is that?
It's like you try to... So like if you're up the hill, you're going... And then because you don't want people to know that the hill is killing you, you'll be like...
Wow, Lillian.
So that's what I was doing.
idea what's
Exactly,
going on.
because you're on the slender side.
Why would I go?
Because you're trying
If
to
the
act
hill
like,
is killing me, I'll go.
No, because it's embarrassing.
Well, I've seen. I don't know. Maybe it's happened to me. You're walking in the street and you see a group of people coming towards you. You know, so maybe 2 or 3 people and you alone.
Yeah.
And the moment you pass, and your legs just go.
Does that happen to you too? Oh my word. That has happened.
Wait, now you're conscious of how you walk.
My right leg falls asleep. It will just like, so like you walking like this, my right leg will just drag. It just, I don't know, like since I was a kid, it's a weird thing. Anyway, welcome everybody. We are back.
Hey, welcome to On the Couch with the Nubons.
On the couch with the newborn.
Come on now.
How you doing, Black?
Ntwana Nkrent. Hey, shut up, go dog. Jonery.
But I always do.
But I don't know this journey.
Oh yeah, this is new.
Okay.
From a shop that I cannot name because I might get cancelled for shopping there.
What?
As of recent events. Anyway, my song of the day
Come on now.
came to me
In a dream.
in a dream of a rainbow nation,
Okay.
of a future South Africa.
Come on now.
My mother,
Did you
and
have
my father, and my parents.
and my brother? Did you have doves as part of this
100%.
vision?
I
and
went back
dream?
to like 1994,
Hey, girl.
95.
Teleport.
It was nostalgia.
Teleport in a
Nostalgic.
transport.
I'm telling you.
And you landed with the ship by
And
the
I
port.
landed at South Africa. We love you.
This is a worship moment, though.
Our beautiful land. We show the whole world we can bring peace in our land. Mother. I don't know what happens after that.
We praise you.
That's Mother, we praise you. I don't think that's what.
I don't think that's what it says. All we know is South Africa. We love you.
Yo.
But people didn't sing it like that.
How do they sing it?
South Africa, we love you. Abba beautiful land.
Abba beautiful land.
No, not Abba beautiful land. Abba beautiful land.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me get it right. Okay.
Abba beautiful land. Let's show the world, mama, we can bring peace in Abba.
land.
No, in Abale.
In Abale. Oh, snap.
Anyway.
I was on the different side of that. Because
No, you lived in the burbs.
I knew no, not at that time. I lived
Okay.
in the city then.
Even
But I wasn't in the
better.
hood.
You were in the
I
city.
was in the city.
Tina Pella, hey, Ntwana, you were in the city.
I
Anyway,
was in the city where people would just shoot each other.
yeah. The city has never been friendly, bro.
No, bruh.
No, or at least when we were alive.
When we were alive, we're still alive.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like when we started existing in the world, the city was never friendly, but it was friendly before we
Before.
we invaded
like,
the
I think
planet
like late
Earth.
80s.
No, late 80s it was becoming deadly, bro.
No, I think when we entered the city.
The city.
Who is it?
It was. Listen, no, it's okay. It was in the early 90s though when you lived in the city.
Yeah. From the 90s to from
That's
birth
what I'm saying.
until like
And
2000s.
you had people shooting up the city
bruh.
in the 90s.
I remember looking out the window as a child watching a gunfight.
Wow.
And I was drinking my water with ice and I was
Wow.
just watching a gunfight.
Wow.
And then
Explains a lot, though.
What does it explain? What does it explain?
You need to pray, bro.
Anyway.
I'm glad you started this conversation with Abba beautiful land, because we need to pray for you, dog. Yeah.
Anyway, and then when we moved to the burbs,
Come on now.
because in the city, we were so used to like you're just used to that, like that's your ambience.
The burbs are quiet.
The burbs were so quiet. Me, my mom, and my sister slept in the same bed
For
I don't know how long, because we were scared because it was so quiet.
Wow.
I will never forget that.
Wow.
Like, and I was like, we were used to the sound of violence. It was sad. There's a sermon there. I think you could preach a sermon. Like,
on the sound of violence.
I'm giving you permission to use
Wow,
that
give
as an
me permission.
illustration.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because when you preach, I just find out, like, oh, Black's telling that story. Cool.
Which preacher out there does not use their family as illustrations?
Yeah, but like, I'm not sure which illustration
we
you're going to
live
use.
with you guys.
Yeah, but
God has brought you in our lives to test us.
Wow.
So that when we get up there and we're like,
you have content.
Bazalwane, I've been tested this week.
You're the original content creators.
Yeah. It's rough for
Original
pastors' kids,
influencers.
though. I'm like,
Wow.
Zaya's going to grow up and listen to all my sermons and be like, wow, this guy.
Anyway, on to the program.
On to the today.
On today. Moving on with the topic.
Hey, come on, though.
I wanted to discuss something
Abba?
important.
Is it Abba Beautiful Couch?
About beautiful le. Do you ever miss being single?
No.
Ah,
What's wrong?
I don't believe you.
That's your dream.
No.
You hate me. And
No.
that's why you're shocked now.
No, because that's not
Because you realize
that's not the answer you've
are
given
the
me offline.
only evil one between the two of us.
I'm a realist.
Sure.
I'm real.
Anybody who says they're real, like they don't know how to do it reality. Like you have to convince yourself that I am real.
Anyone who's real is only addressing negative things. You
All the
can never
time.
be real and talk about happy things.
Never.
You're only real when it's bad
Yeah.
and it's hard
Yeah.
and it's.
You don't get it. You don't. Yeah, sure, bro.
I'm real.
Sure.
No, you're just negative. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm saying because I feel like we've.
Maybe rephrase your question. Because what is your question currently?
My question is.
Do I miss being single?
No. Okay, let me. Okay, so we've been married for 9 years.
Yeah.
Together for
10.
is it 10,
Yeah.
12, 11.
No, we dated
This
for a
is-
year and a half.
This is our 11th year.
We dated for a year and a half.
I know.
And then we married for 9 years. So we've been together for 10.
Yeah, but
and
it's
a
our
half.
in August we'll be together for 11 years. I don't know if this
Bana.
video would have aired by then. Yes,
Yabona.
we're
Maths.
10 years, but we're in our 11th year. I'm just semantics.
Maths,
I don't even know what
Mfana.
semantics means, but I know how people use the word. So, based on that, so we've been together and we've been married for 9 years.
We've known each other for 15.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Is it?
2008.
Yeah.
We should be able to answer this quickly. Anyway, the moral of the story is I want to discuss like moments when you've either missed being single or wished you were single.
Yeah, I don't miss being single. And that's why I said maybe rephrase your question, because then my answer is a definite no.
Okay, I
Do I
get
flirt
that.
with being single at certain moments? Yeah.
Okay. Which moments?
When you've pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
When you haven't closed the cupboard.
Okay.
When you've left the door open. Like,
Okay. Are you just going to list all my wrongs on this?
Angisha, now it's
episode?
a,
I'm joking, I'm
we can
joking.
double tap.
Yes. Double tap, double click. Yes.
Where I'm like, if you're an African mother, you know, yeah, just you leave the door open, but there's an imaginary tail that you have, Nje, that now you can't close the door because it's gonna hurt your tail.
Okay.
Anyway, I think when life is just rough, man. Yeah.
I think
So I don't miss being single, but in those moments,
you fantasize.
in those moments, I'm like, yes, maybe your word. I wish I was single in those moments.
And when you are wanting to be single in those moments, what does the fantasy look
No,
like?
dog, you answer your own question before we interrogate her.
I'm not interrogating you.
Do you miss being single?
I think actually you actually clarified when you said the way you answered it now about that you don't miss being single, right? But there are moments, and I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, the only moments when I fantasize or miss being single or wish I was single is when things are rough, right? And it can go from like the thing of domestic stuff, you know, like we've spoken about washing dishes, and it's like the thing is that's like that's something that always happens when we good, when we are like sending, you know, memes. The other day we're listening to the Yizo soundtrack.
Hey.
Corruption.
Bro, I don't know if that guy, like, guys, don't lie. Do not lie. None of you know who that guy is.
The guy who
sang that song.
Yizo.
You don't know.
Isn't it Zola?
It's Kylo, if that's how you say his name.
But isn't that, it's not Zola.
No. Remember Zola came in Yizo 2.
Yeah, but
not
that's
1.
the song I'm referring to. Namsa, spare 2.
Yeah, that's from Yizo 1.
Isn't it 2?
No.
Yizo the return, Baba. Am I mixing the songs? That's 2, dude.
Is that 2?
Yes.
But it wasn't Zola, that much.
It is.
Nah, bro. Zola did Ghetto Fabulous. Ghetto Fabulous.
Yeah, but he's on.
Ghetto Fabulous.
Anyway. But that night we were listening
Zola
to
would not say corruption. not Uncle Zolisto. No.
Corruption.
Corruption. That Yizo song basically gives you the plot line.
No, it's a spoiler.
For the
it's
whole
a 5-minute spoiler.
For the whole season. Do not listen to it. Because basically they're like, Yizo the return, Baba. Right?
These are the characters.
Here's the characters. This one's going to piss this one off. Right? But while this one is pissed, teaser.
Come and end the corruption.
They'll come and end the corruption. Thanks, bro. Why should I watch the whole season? Because you just gave me the whole plot.
Anyway, that was like,
Fun
it was midnight. We were fatigued. We were listening to that and we were dying.
Yes.
Like
nice.
in those moments, I'm not. But it's only in the times where, because I think, ultimately what I was thinking about was how with being married, right, it's 2 lives that need to become 1 life. And that's not to say you don't have an identity or I don't have an identity or you don't have a purpose and I have a purpose. But it's the thing of, if you forget that people were coming over to the house, that's going to affect my Saturday afternoon. I was expecting to sit and watch TV and now I have to cook or whatever, right? Like, I mean, that I don't think that's ever happened, but that's just an example of just the lives becoming 1. Or if you decide, hey, I think I need to go to like Vietnam for 3 months, it's what does it mean for me? What does it mean for our family? It's those kind of questions.
Yeah.
And just the thing of, in those moments, it's been like, shucks, if I was single, I would just do whatever I wanted to do.
Like you'd go on solocations alone.
100%.
Easy.
And we will do, because I have thoughts about that 2.5 episodes.
Why does just answer the question?
I know.
You do solocations.
Yeah. But I like doing stuff alone.
Yeah.
And you know that. Like, I will sit at a restaurant by myself. I will just...
So why did you get married?
No, listen. You caught me off guard there, man. Why did you go there? I got married because... I got married because I wanted to build a life with you. I saw our future and I obviously loved you very much. And I was like, Flip, I am better with this person. And I think he's better with me. And together we can do great things. Great things. Wait, let me finish my speech.
Come on.
Great things, which is like, yes, in the world and doing what we do out there, but also just how we build each other up. Right. So just like you've helped me grow and like become more confident and all of those things in ways that like none of my friendships ever did, or, you know, so yes. But the thing is, when you're in that height of like the romance and, you know, whatever, and when you imagine your wedding day, or you imagine when you're in the engagement period, that's if obviously you don't live together, you are not thinking about how the small things are going to irritate you, how if your partner is too frugal and you like spending, how that's going to affect your life or whatever the case may be. You're not thinking about that stuff. And it's only when there's challenges where there's this fantasy I have of, well, that's where I then fall into it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yes, if I was single, then I wouldn't have to deal with this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Then, and also for me, I have to be honest, I think because I lived at home, right, from birth, obviously, and then
Sure, don't.
well, hey man, people have different stories, but lived at home,
Yeah.
same place, you know, after the city.
After
into
the
burbs,
sea.
after the city, after the
Come
violence,
on.
to the burbs.
Now people are wondering what city. Anyway, it's okay, yeah.
And then from there, lived there my whole life, and then even in university, never stayed at res, never
Yeah.
stayed with people. I was
Yeah.
at home, and then got married, and you were the next person I lived with. So I think the first place where I kind of have this romanticized idea of what it would mean to be single was honestly when my sister moved into her place. My sister is single, she lives by herself, and how like she was choosing like her couches, and it was very exciting, you know. Like, you know, you're growing up when you're excited for curtains, right? So like she was choosing all those things, and realizing that for me, I had never had that experience. I've had to figure out, and it's such a small thing, but like, so like for example, like when I go, let's say buy bedding for us, new bedding, and when I walk into the shop, I'm not immediately picking the design that I like. I have to think, because unlike other husbands who don't give a stuff, you actually care to a degree. Obviously,
we nearly divorced when we renovated our house. Anyway,
I don't know if renovated is we
redecorated. While we were redecorating, we nearly divorced.
We needed at Shamdo looking for material for curtains. I was like, I'm done with this man.
I'm leaving this girl for curtains.
I'm done with this man.
And I was like, will I be fine telling people I divorced for curtains?
Like in that moment, I remember thinking, why can't you be like other husbands who don't care?
Yeah.
Like other husbands are like, I just let my wife do whatever. And
you thinking, why aren't you like other husbands who don't care? And then I'm like, why aren't you like wives who appreciate, right? Who don't have this, who will cry for a husband who's involved in what color curtains we get.
I know. But
Anyway.
You see, the thing is, and those are the times when I think, and it's like I'm saying, it's a small thing, but I think it's the idea of, I mean, we also got married young. I was 24, you were 25. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24, 25. So even there, you're still sort of figuring out who you are. And at the time, you don't think that that's what's happening. Right? Like consciously, you're not like, you're just kind of living your life. You think you have it together.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I'm like, flip, yeah, there was a lot that I believed about myself or whatever it is, or a lot that I had to learn. And then you get there, and like I'm saying, something as small as picking the bedding becomes what do I actually like? Wait, I'd have to think of what Black likes. Oh, okay. And then even then I'm like, what's it like to live alone? Like you just go and like you can come back anytime. But then I remember, the flip side of it, right? Like, and again, this is all romanticized. It's all it's just in the same way people romanticize certain aspects of being married, right? So the romanticized single, living 30-something-year-old doing her thing. I remember talking to a lady, I can't remember her name, it was years ago, and she was talking about how, so she's like, she was completely single, not married, no boyfriend, whatever, and she was like, dude, I was sick last week and there was nobody to go get my medication for me. And she's like, it's not a small thing, because when you're sick it absolutely sucks, but she's like, there's nobody to bring you your pills, there's nobody to make you a meal, there's nobody to, you still have to get up and cook, or get up and go order, or get up and get your medication, get up, like all of those things, get up and still do the laundry. And she's like, I just wished I had somebody to just help me in that, you know. And I'm like, I don't think of sort of that side, or the idea that, you know, nobody's necessarily waiting for you to get home, right? So anyway, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, yo, it's questions of, I wonder what personality I would have if I had been single up until this point. Would I even be living in this country? Like, I'm like, I really think you would have gone to like the deepest, darkest parts of Africa, and like,
you would have been a missionary.
Been an mission, 100%.
Yep.
You know, and like, that's kind of like oh, okay, that's a longing I know you have in your heart, like to do. And it's like, am I holding this person back? Is our marriage? Because then the question then is, I then need to believe in this thing, which goes back to, I
want to be single for him.
No, you can go be a missionary, and I'll live in like no, not an apartment. It won't be an apartment. It'll be like a little random cottage somewhere by the beach.
By the beach, cottage. Nah, I mean, think about the place we go to for holiday. You wouldn't want to be in a cottage there. You'd want to have a nice penthouse.
Yeah, but like cottage makes me feel real.
Sure, dog. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Anyway,
It makes me feel real.
wow. Are you one of those real people?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
real, dude.
Okay. But so maybe dialing back a little bit. You said, imagining what kind of bedding you'd buy, what kind of curtains you'd buy if you're single, right? And now you're married, and in those moments, things are rough, and you feel like, I wish I was single. And so maybe a real question, right? Since we're being real, like, yeah, like which do you want in those moments? And obviously, yes, when you're pissed, you want to be single.
Yeah.
However, the process of sobering up, and if you ever weigh the two situations, obviously you weren't single in your 20s, at all. So you were with me in your 20s, and especially the larger part of your 20s when you were developing and becoming an adult. So you know that from experience. The other side, it's fantasy.
100%.
So, but in those moments, yeah, like when you weigh, do you think, even with what I know,
No.
I still wish.
And here's the thing, I can honestly say, because
sorry,
okay,
the reason why
yeah.
I'm asking that, sorry to cut you off, but the reason why I'm asking is there's people who don't want to get married because they're like, I still want to enjoy my time alone. And that's fine.
It is.
That's fine.
I don't think everyone is supposed to be married.
No. Not everyone will be married.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Or should want to be married.
Yeah, sure. And that's fine. But then there's people who want to do that, because they're like, I desire to get married. I want to get married. I see marriage in my future. But right now, even if, let's say, there's a proper prospect who ticks all the boxes, and it's just like, grand dog, I'm just going to choose to buy my own curtains for now. Right? And be like, yo, man, here's a guy or here's a girl, proper. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's legit.
Yes.
Like
this is it, bruh.
Get married, bro.
This
right?
is the Netflix film you wish you were in.
hey. And they just like, nah, I just want to buy my own curtains.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about that person who's hearing you and they thinking, you see? That's why I want to stay here. Yes, there's people who are very good prospects, Mara. I just desire curtains over this relationship right now.
So I think that, first of all, like, if that's you, if you're that person, like, just don't waste another child's time. Yeah? If you know in your heart that I just really just don't want anybody in my space. Like, I don't want to have to, like, make the bed and come and somebody sat on the bed. Just don't waste another child's time, because I think there are people who they want the best of both, so they'll kind of drag on relationships for like 8-10 years, and then, but it's like, I really just want best of both. Everything has a cost, and I think we can't avoid that. Like, marriage is beautiful. I am happy I got married, but there's a cost. If you decide to study and quit your job, there's a cost. If you decide to immigrate, if you decide to have a child, at every point you're not going to be able to be 100% of the fantasy you have of who you are, because that's always assuming that everyone does exactly what they need to do so that you can be who you want to be, right? Like, so I'm sitting there going, when it comes to lost my train of thought. What did you say?
So choosing to
the person who's looking at me saying, yeah, vele.
Yeah, so you spoke about somebody now who's dragging on a relationship.
Yes.
Which I didn't think about. That's dope. I was thinking about the person who says, no sister, no brother,
yes,
I don't want to be with you now. I'm choosing to just be alone.
Yes.
And not, because I think, and maybe let me be blunt, I think, picking curtains, yeah, it's fine. But compared to having a good long-term healthy marriage and you postponing that or putting it on the back seat just because you want to have the ability to choose your own bedding, I'm like, yeah, anyway, but you were talking about the person who drags, which I think that's worse.
No, because I'm like, I think I know a lot of people, especially men,
Who drag?
Yeah, who drag? Who just drag these girls along, and it's like, we're good, man. She has her place, I have my place.
Sheesh.
You know, it's so. I mean, I know of a friend of a friend whose boyfriend wanted her to have a child because he's like, all my friends are having kids, and I'm like,
But
so
I don't want to marry you.
100%. So I want you to bear my child and be bonded to you for life. I trust your genes enough to bear me offspring, but I'm not gonna make you my wife.
It's probably not even trusting your genes.
No,
You
I
just,
know,
you
but I'm
just
just saying
happen
that's
to be
what
the
you said.
person who's close enough to me right
And
now.
also, he liked the concept
I
of
could
like
have
being
a
at the
baby.
braai with the, this is my son, this is my daughter, you know. Anyway, but let me go back
Wow.
to what I was saying. That so for me, again, whenever I've engaged with the idea of being single, it's a fantasy, and it also doesn't consider the journey I've had to take as an individual in these 9 years within our marriage, right? So this is this is me imagining my single life, right, based on who I am right now.
Yep.
But we have gone through, like me as an individual. Let me speak of myself. Being from the time of being your wife.
So let's clarify that. So you imagine your life as it is now without us.
Yes.
But your life wouldn't be that
100%
without us.
And what did I have? What have you been through? What have I been through in the 9 years where my income was super inconsistent? Being a musician, like there was a time I was just be like, "Hey, Black, so is the car, dog." Like, right? So there's that. There's dealing with the feelings of the failure. There's dealing with the mental health issues. Like there's many times where my life in our marriage has been very unstable, and I was able to be that unstable only because I had you. So number one, on a practical level, my needs were met. I had a roof over my head. I had food in my stomach, but also I had somebody to go through it with me. I had somebody who was talking to me the whole time, encouraging me. You like, I mean, like there was a time Black was like, "Bro, quit your job. Just like stay home." And I was like, I cannot do that. Like, what are you saying? But if I were single, right, and let's take it to the extreme, right, where if I was single, my family is somewhere else, like in another province, of which most people, that's the case.
At that age,
you can't do that.
You wouldn't have. Anyway, let me not say this. That's fine. I just caught myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was just saying, like, there are lots of freedoms I've been afforded, and there are lots of struggles I've been able to engage with fully because you gave me not only stability, but companionship, love, and a space to bounce my thoughts, my feelings off of without expectation. So as much as, you know, my friends, my family, whatever, there'll always be a side, especially once you like everyone's gone into their own homes, that you don't want to show them, right? So now me fantasizing about me being single, I'm like, I don't think I'd necessarily be here though, because if I had gone through the 6 months of no income, and then at that point things were good, and at that point it was a year of strife, and then as a single person, I would have gone back home and been like, "Hey, Mom,
I'm here.
So can we just like, you know what I mean? There would not be sheets for me to buy." Like, and then I think even as a person, because you've been so integral in my development, like just this is me speaking as an individual. Like, I don't think I would have developed to the point that I have. So you kind of have to. When I look at it that way, I'm like, babes, let's not lie to ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's what fantasy is. It takes away the very real things you have to consider, and and you do this. And I think it's the same thing when people imagine getting married or think of getting married, where you just imagine that, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna make dinner every single night, and and then you're thinking of about the dishes, about the groceries.
Marriage punches you in the face.
Who's paying for what here? Who's like, you know what I mean? Like those kind. Oh, you know, this person like overspends money and. Flip, what does that mean for me? Or he wants to buy the most expensive sneakers, and I'm like, dude, you know,
I don't.
No, you don't. So I wasn't talking about you. I know. You know, so I think it's those moments where then I have to really catch myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be like, let's tell the truth here. If everything that happened to you and you were alone, how up, babes?
Yeah. And maybe to even put a very definitive, a very clear disclaimer. It's your experience, very subjective. We're not saying if you're single, you won't develop in
No.
Yes.
I'm literally talking from
for
what
yourself.
Lily went through. Yes.
So if we look at Lily, yeah.
Because there are people who are married and probably shouldn't be. They
Yeah.
probably would be better off by
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
But I just know for me,
Thousand.
and it's not to say I don't trust God or anything, but I'm like, if everything stays exactly the same and
No,
black's
thousand.
out of the equation,
Yeah.
there are many times you've had to rescue me and
Yeah.
like carry the family where I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
we wouldn't have Zaya, so there's that too.
Yeah, that's what I think about it. Sometimes I think like what part and this is me being stupid. I'm like, what parts of Zaya are me and what parts of Zaya are you? And then I'm like, okay, let's imagine that with other people.
What? You imagine another mother for your child?
Yeah, but then I don't have a mother
You don't
in,
have a picture.
in the head.
Right.
Where I'm like, if I was with, I'm like, what are you saying? Right?
Yeah.
She looks like you, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know what she probably has personality traits from me.
Yeah.
So you'd have her, but even then, she looks like how she looks because of us. Anyway,
Yes. So anyway,
it's a
going off.
silly rabbit hole.
I'm curious about. I just had the thought now because we spoke about the cost, like everything. There's something that there's an adjustment you'll have to make, right? Like with anything you want to do in life, right? And I think there's this idea that if it's right, it should just be like
Even that
just-
statement, if it's right, what do you mean if it's right?
I don't know, right? Like,
You know?
I think for me, I did have that with other things where I was just like, but that's also because I was lazy. I just did, and also I didn't want to suffer. Like, I just didn't want to suffer in life. So my idea was that as long as it feels good, then we're safe. The moment there's, then we need to. But I'm like, the most beautiful things. I mean, just again, having a kid, what it does to your body as a woman who then has the child. Like, there's a lot that you deal with even afterwards. So so now going back to like this sort of in a parallel timeline, if you were single, you'd be in the heart of like Mozambique, being a missionary. What are things, or are there things you feel like you gave up getting married? Like obvious, or maybe not even. Why are you laughing?
I guess you're laughing at my answer.
Oh, okay,
I don't know
let's
if-
go. I wasn't saying like just at the point of when we got married, but also just where you have
living
to
in the 9 years.
laying down what you desire, what you want as an individual for the sake of the family or the marriage or
Yeah, and so I agree with you, you know, that it's naive for anyone to think you're going to get into marriage and just be yourself. That's not going to happen. Like, you're becoming one. So you're essentially saying, there's parts of me, and if we have to be honest, there's all of you that you have to give up so that a new you comes out.
Yep.
Right? So as we become one, there's new versions of us individually that are going to emerge and are emerging as, you know, I think the becoming one is all of marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Like the becoming.
The becoming is all of marriage.
Yeah.
So until one of us dies, we are becoming until we die, right? I don't think that we'll ever sit at a point we married for 40 years and be like, we have become. No, you're still alive. Again, if we stay married, you know, for the next 20 years, we'll be in our 50s at that point, and I do not know what a 50-year-old version of me is.
Bruh?
I don't know what a 50-year-old version of you is. So
Who that? How about who this woman?
yeah. so we have been becoming since 24, 25. 30 hits and we like, okay, who are these people, right? In terms of our values, in terms of our attraction to each other, bodies changing because we have a kid, having to adjust to having a third human. We didn't know those versions. You have to see me not only as your husband, but as a father to Zaya. I have to see you as a mother to her. You know, I didn't marry the 24-year-old girl and think, wow, let me treat you like somebody's mother now. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's a whole lot of becoming that's happening. So I think to not think that you're gonna have to give up a whole lot of who you are. Yeah, I think it's silly, you know. So in what ways then have I along the 9 years, giving up certain things. I think I didn't even think I was giving up things.
Mm-hmm.
But and I prefaced my answer by speaking about becoming. I was becoming. Right? So I wasn't like, oh, look at me, I am dropping this.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, the shock comes that, oh, smack, the thing I thought would be is not the way, or it can't be that way.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and sulk that I am giving this thing up. Or I can look at it for what it is. Okay, I'm becoming Lily's husband. I am becoming Zaya's father. I am becoming the person that will love my wife better. You know, I am becoming the husband that my wife needs. You know, and
that's
so
deep.
yeah,
Sorry, that's a chat.
Come on now, dog.
The husband your wife needs, not like the husband to the wife you want.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Sure,
vice versa, right? Yeah, that's a chat. So I had to realize, and that's one, it's painful. So obviously somebody hearing this and they think, well, you know, it sounds very deep and there's a sense in which you don't feel pain because you're not giving up. No, there is pain because again, we all come in with expectations, with certain plans, certain visions of how things will look. And when that thing has to look different because of the process of becoming or cleaving, you know, being married, there is obviously a mourning, a loss, you know, but then I have to realize, oh man, like it's a loss because I came in with it as an expectation, but I'm actually gaining something way better than I anticipated. Right?
So you are giving up something, but it's worth the bigger thing that you're gaining in exchange.
And the me who's becoming a husband that you need is becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better human. I'm becoming a better friend, leader. I'm becoming a better father. I'm becoming a better son, right? Etc. Etc. It's going back to you saying, would you have developed in the way you have if you are single? And again, very subjectively. And I look at myself and I'm like, no. I would have been some missionary guy doing stuff wherever it is, right? I would have grown in certain ways, but there's ways that I'm being challenged. And I think if I have to, you know, be blunt, in God's providence, he saw that this would be better for me, right? I could sit here and cry, God, but being a missionary is that clear to your calling. And, you know, and it's like, yeah, but I didn't call you to do stuff for me first. I called you to be mine first, right? And being his means he saw fit that I would grow better to look like Jesus because he gave me to you and you to me, right? So I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah, it's cool. So the thing that I had to give up, right?
Oh yeah, that was the question. I forgot. Yes,
the thing I had to give up is
realizing. I'm so scared.
Is realizing that you're not a mamruti.
Was that a thing for you?
It's because
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, but was that something you consciously wanted or expected that I would be?
No, it's not. So and I say mamruti because of the caricature, right? But like I didn't think you'd be like now baking cookies every Sunday.
What are you even saying?
Inviting the nation to come eat.
Please don't come to my house. I have literally stood at the gate as people were cocoting there, and I was like, not stood at the gate, stood at the window and just been like, oh well,
our friends.
I'm just wait for y'all to leave. I had the door wide open, music blaring, and I stood in the window, and I was just no.
It's the people that nobody wants to.
I've grown in that department.
But let's qualify that. It's the people that nobody wants to open the door for.
Yeah, those people.
Yeah. I opened
but also,
the door for
there are
them.
a couple of friends who have just been like, you can't just show up at my house.
Like David.
I'm cool. I'm fine with David. Because I can also be
David
like,
is proper village where I'm like, Kobedi, you're in the burbs. You need to set an appointment. Like we all need to coordinate
just let me know.
calendars.
I need to get emotionally ready for someone in my space.
Let's do it. You entering my womb.
Entering my womb. Oh, God.
And it's your private space.
But like it's because now I'm thinking, can you see the cobwebs? Even just as a person, I thought I would just have Judge Judy in the background. I'd paint and that would be that. Now I have to engage. And you didn't warn me that I have to do this.
No, hundreds.
Anyway, the
hundreds.
Mamruti conversation. I hijacked you. Sorry.
No, and it's not to say, we joke. It's not. You don't hate people.
I don't hate. No.
Yes, that's why I'm saying we joke. You don't hate people.
No.
But you have real struggles.
I have real struggles.
Real struggles.
Of people in my space. I think it's a childhood thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have grown.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the person who. There are people who can just be like, I'm outside. Come through.
Yeah.
For me, there's anxiety. It's just a lot. But we're not talking about that.
No, it's dope. And again, you grew up with your mom, sister, and 2 dogs. I grew up with everybody, and then going to my grandmother's house, there was hey buddy, right? And then at my grandmother's place, the whole street, we're all together. So yes, I'm an introvert. Yes, I want to be alone. Yes, but there's a thing in me that's just like, I have fun. It's okay. And then considering my job, and when we got married, obviously we were all like, yo man, kingdom mine. Hey, and then
I just want a quiet life.
And then life, life really, punched us in the face a couple of times. As it does. And so then I had to realize, okay, cool, bro.
Sorry, in this picture of Mamruti, what is she doing? The picture you had or have, or the picture you gave up. What is that Lily doing? She's Lillian.
So there's a couple I'm not going to mention by name because I don't, I think they're very private. But we went to their anniversary celebration. Yes. Obviously, if I give the amount of years, they will know who they are. Yeah,
but only they will know. It's fine. Recently, the one we went to recently. Yes.
And then, they're in ministry, they do stuff together, and people were talking about going to their house, sitting by the round table, and then me and David were like, yeah, sure, I'm fine. we're like, this is nice, né? Yeah. Do we turn back the hands of time?
I get want women to challenge you.
And my darling, you. That's what I'm saying. If
Are you singing R. Kelly on this platform?
Sorry.
No, but R. Kelly song, let's not talk about it. It's fine.
Let's not. So I saw that, and then even after that celebration, I had to realize that's not us. It's okay. Right?
Maybe when I'm like 50.
It's okay, bro. Don't fight it. It's okay. Yeah. So anyway, so I had to realize that's we're gonna have a different trajectory. We're gonna have a different positioning. That's fine, right? And there's dudes who've been in ministry longer than me, who've navigated similar waters and longer. And I didn't even get into details about why their wives were not, quote unquote, the traditional wife there with you on the side who's doing the mamrutiness. Right? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. That's okay. Fine. And I'm not sitting here like, my wife is rebellious. It's just like,
but I think
we've taken it, like, in our becoming.
Yeah.
We are becoming different than the conventional picture that we've seen.
And I think that's a conversation, because I stalled because I lost my train of thought again, but I'm back now. I think that's like a big thing, because I also struggled with that.
Yeah.
I struggled with feeling like I was supposed to be this pastor's wife, and like in my mind, when I married Black, and Black has got these passions. And will I be a cheerleader 100%? Will I get in where I fit in? Yes, but I didn't, and I don't totally agree with that. Your calling is now my calling, and I think that's where it took me years to kind of be okay with that, because I always felt like I was underperforming. I either felt like I was underperforming or I was faking, where it's like, I'm going to do stuff because I'm part of the community, right? Like I'm here, but this idea that, every event or Bible study or whatever, like I'm supposed to be there. Like it was like this, like, I don't know. And I think because the examples we've seen in like the church or whatever is, and I'm not saying like just the church in general.
In Christianity.
Is that, and somebody said it to me when she found out that you were a pastor. She's like, oh, so you're a pastor, Lily? I was like, no, babes. She's like, no, but if your husband's a pastor, I was like, I was like, no, it's a no from me.
In what universe?
I was like, I am nobody's pastor.
University?
And I don't want, that's not
and here's the thing, it's when I say I wasn't looking for that.
But you said, but I think there was a part of you that maybe you didn't realize you wanted it until you didn't have it.
No. So I'm not saying I wanted that's why I said the Mamruti is a caricature. But I'm just realizing that, because I've never, ever, said to you, as my wife, you need to come to this Bible. I'm like, yo, go. You part of a life group, 100, it's good, right? You come to church, it's good, girl, right? Dope. But I've never been like, yo, man, we need to stand together and do. I'm like, man, my wife prays for me, man. My wife is there. It's okay. But it is in moments where I'm like, there's certain things, like, the round table that the couple are speaking about, where I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I would like a round table, but then I'm like, wait a minute. In our household, I'd have to book 3 months ahead for the round table to happen, and that's us. It's okay. I can't just be round tabling every day, right?
I mean, you can as an individual.
As an individual, me, I'm driving to Mpumalanga to round table,
as
right?
You have
hundreds, but I'm like, I can't do that to my wife. I have to book 3 months ahead, right? And so it's that where I'm like, okay. So if we have to probably break it down, it's the convenience of just being like, go, we're coming in 2 hours. So it's okay. I don't have to sit there and cry and be like, well, man.
Yes. No, I get you.
It's okay.
I totally get you. It would be easier.
That's fine.
Yeah, but
like, I never had the vision of Mamruti anyway. That's a party. Right? And I'm like, it's cool. The same way you married me, I have my calling, my passions, but I'm like, I married you for your callings, your passions, easy, right? And I'm like, there's times where we do work together. And I'm like, yo, man, that's dope. And there's times where we have to do stuff individually. That's dope, right? We support each other from our various respective corners. That's dope. But yeah. So to end off, because I'm talking too much, I gave up the convenience of calling you 2 hours to say that I'm bringing the whole church to our house. That's all in becoming a husband that you need. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the becoming the husband that I need. Like, it's just, we've never actually, maybe we have had lots of conversations, but in my mind, in the front of my mind, I can't remember sort of labeling it like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's that because, so for me, like I said, feeling like I was underperforming, and eventually I just had to settle in, but this is not who I am, right? Like, this is not, and also you weren't asking me to be that, and you weren't criticizing that I wasn't that. Were you accommodating me? Yes. Were you like, did I have to also be like, okay, Lily, you can't just like not answer people's phone calls? Like, he was like, oh, listen, this couple's coming to our house. Like, you have to, like, I also had to grow up. There's a level of just growing up, and it's just being a person who is in service to other people as well. It's not all about you all the time. So, but it took me years to be okay with that. I wasn't going to be that person.
Yeah.
Because that's not my calling.
Yep.
Right? That's not it's not mine. And yeah, so it's like, the assumption is that because it's your husband's, it should be yours. But then being okay with, no, we still in the fold. And you are free to
maybe to even say, sorry to cut you off, but like, somebody who doesn't know us might watch this and think, okay, so like, how do you guys navigate this thing if this guy's a pastor? I'm like, first of all, I'm part of a team of pastors, which then I'm not running a whole church, right? Which would be different. It would be probably hectic. But then secondly, I think it's been a blessing that our community accepted me with all my varying gifts. And praise the Lord that our leaders have allowed for all my gifts to shine and flourish and have created a space for that and the rest of our church community, right? And so I think there is a level of even allowing for, me to go express my other gifts elsewhere that has also empowered us to not feel like, yo, man, this is how things are
Yes, you
supposed
have
to
to
be.
fit here,
There's
do things like this.
There's a
Yeah,
box here, right?
Yeah.
So that's been a great blessing, man. So yeah. Anyway, this conversation is becoming about me and my
No, it's cool. I was gonna throw in my experience.
yeah.
And it's a weird thing. It's a weird one because I only actually fully thought of it now because, I can think of things like the obvious things like, to be able to just wake up and be like, okay, I'm going to Durban for 4 days, right?
Yeah,
Like, I can't just do that.
Yeah.
Not only because of you, but I have a child and, so, and I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to wear bum shorts, but like, I know that you wouldn't want me to wear bum shorts, but the idea that if I wake up and decide to want to wear bum shorts, I have to consult you, right? And it's not a thing of, I can't be who I am. It's just you live with a person, right? Like I don't want you to go out the house not like smelling good and looking good, right? So, but my one is a weird one. So
I thought it, okay.
I was saying those. I feel like those are obvious ones that you give up. But my major one.
No, I'm trying to figure out why you made the reference of the shorts.
Because I was saying those are obvious things you give up when you get married. Like there's a certain level.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure,
right. So, like the guy who says to the wife who says to the guy, "You can't go out dressed like that," and he's like, "But I'm fine. I'm comfortable." Right. So those are the obvious ones I could point out. But mine is a little weird. So I had this weird like thing where because of what like I've seen happen with in-laws and stuff growing up with like my family or whatever, I was really scared at the idea of having in-laws. So my secret dream was I just wanted to marry an orphan from like somewhere in like upper Africa. Has no family, like we don't have to deal with anything. Like my family situation is what it is, so we'll just be in a bubble and we'll just be in our bubble and it'll be fine and we're gonna be good and we're gonna build our lives and nobody will tell us anything. And in as much as that's the person that I love, like who you are, I was like, yo, my husband knows everybody. Like, and so it's not only does he come from a big family, but it's a family who he wants to be around. But then his community, like the greater, like we go to your mom's place and we're greeting everybody in the streets. And when I was your friend, that was fine. Like I could kind of just walk at the back. Nobody's expecting anything of me. But now it was like this weird fantasy I had of like, I'm going to marry my person and we're just going to run away and we're going to like be in our little bubble which was coming from a place of trauma and fear and all of that stuff from what I had experienced in my background. That was a remedy to avoid having what happened to these other people happen to me.
Yeah.
And so now it was like I was faced with the reality like, flip, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, I liked them as when we were friends. Like it was cool. But now I'm like, oh no, they're my people. Now I got more people. I had 2 people. And now I got like lots of people. And that was like a weird thing where like having to make sure that we are seeing your mom or we're seeing in the beginning it was such a, you know what I mean, because like I'm saying my whole world was so tiny for so long and that's how we survived. And I just thought I'll marry my husband and he'll just be part of this world. And again, it wasn't a fully conscious thing. It was only when it wasn't happening that I realized that was actually something I wanted. And it's a weird thing to want because like those kind of relationships are dangerous and toxic, right? Like you can't live in a bubble.
No.
That's not real life. But it's so beautiful like years down the line where I remember feeling so nervous when we'd go see. And again, like just in case anyone's wondering, like my in-laws are amazing. Like everybody, the aunties, the cousins, nobody ever made me feel off. But do you remember the amount of anxiety I would have where I'm like, what if I say something wrong? What if I, like, just that constant like feeling of like, because now I'm the wife. Oh,
Yeah.
flip. And again, am I the right kind of wife that they expected? Are they disappointed about how I am, how I look, what, all of those things, right? And this is even after the wedding, bruh.
I'm realizing
So-
now, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off. I'm realizing now that part of becoming the husband that you need, you struggle with a lot of anxiety, and you've shared this, you know.
Yeah.
So even now, I'm like, hey, you know, having to book the round table 3 months ahead is because you struggle with your anxiety.
Yeah.
The thing with my family is because you struggle with your anxiety, you know. And so I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, becoming the husband that you need is, I've realized that you obviously have anxieties, but now in this conversation, I'm like, oh, smack, like that's all it is.
yeah.
And I've pressed into you to help you with that. But my very laxed life will be what life is kind of approach, you know, hampers me in the moments where I have to fully recognize your anxiety, because I see it when I zoom out. But in those moments, like we're going to the hood to see my family and you freaking out and everything in me is like, man, girl, like all these people are excited to see you. It's fine. And then you're going to get there, you trying to like, you know, play the role because you're fighting your anxiety and you obviously want to mask the fact that like I am crumbling. And all the things that you do to perform in that moment, I'm like, no one is calling you to do any of those things.
Bruh.
But zooming out, it's you saying, you know, so no one is asking you to put on the fast coat and the apron and go clean.
Yeah.
No one is doing
Because I
that.
literally was like, I need to go wash these dishes now.
And even if you would do that, everyone would be like, what the
Yes.
hell is going on
Yeah.
there, right? But I realize in those moments, it's the kid who comes from a different country and is thinking, the guy you were telling me about, the American who came and was saying Santon or man,
Santon, man.
because he thought South Africans speak like that.
Yes.
And everyone is like,
What are you doing?
we say man
Yes.
and we say Santon. We don't say Santon.
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 It was a man.
Yeah. It's like, relax yourself, dude. Right?
Yes.
But you behave like that American. And then everyone
Then
is
it's
like,
awkward.
what?
Then I feel more anxious because
Like-
I can feel that it's awkward.
We don't, like, we're okay. Just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
But I'm realizing that your anxiety has been, like a big thing. And
So then the desire then to be single in those moments, because best believe when we're on that drive, I'm like, as if I was single, I wouldn't have to deal with this.
yes.
It's because then I wouldn't have to engage with this part of myself. I wouldn't have to engage with
yes.
this like, yeah, I can be really confident.
Yes.
But that's like out there. Like
Yeah.
when we're inside, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And now I feel
yeah.
exposed.
Yeah.
And so the fantasy then kicks in
Yeah.
where I'm like, yes, I'd be like in some country right now. Just,
chilling on an exotic
you know what I mean?
island.
Like faking a conversation. No
I'm
one
an
would have to see all of
island
this.
boy.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually like, yeah, that's wild. It's, yeah.
Yeah, but it's dope to see who you're becoming though, with your anxieties.
I think it's just, I have to be like, you're not going to die. And I know that sounds extreme, but when you're that anxious and, you know, like I'll like get nauseous, I can't sleep. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like the night before you say that, oh, like I remember early days when you said like your mom and sisters were coming, I was not okay. Like,
Yeah.
not because I didn't want them there, but because I'm like, what
No,
do they
you
think
would
of the
like
house?
spend
What are they- I'm like,
spend like 500 hours in the kitchen,
Bruh.
and I'm like, girl,
I wanna wipe the light
no one
bulbs.
is here to check if your forks are still shiny.
Like wipe behind the toilet, that pipe behind the toilet, that's where I want to clean. I'd be so anxious,
I
but
know.
then I'd always have a good time.
I know.
And so, but in that moment, the anxiety is so much that I'm like, you literally feel like, yo, I'm going to suffocate and pass
Yeah.
away. But then just be like, no, like these are my people.
Yeah.
And it's good. And like now I'm at the place where I'm like, there's still some anxiety. I think that's just part of my journey.
Yeah.
But like, it's not crippling because I
No,
know I'm
100.
gonna get there and there'll be laughter and it'll
Yeah.
be cool. And I'm like, flip, this is very far from my, orphan boy
Fantasy.
with no family
Mm-hmm.
in a foreign country.
Total opposite.
So like, I'm gonna be his friend and his family. We don't have to,
And so I was thinking about your comment of developing the way you have because you married.
Yes.
And that's why I was saying I think it's dope who you becoming, even with your anxieties. Because I think before you would fight your anxieties, that would create more anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? The fight would create more. But now it's like, okay, cool, man. Like, do I have to put in notice for the round table? Yeah, that's okay. Your anxieties will still be there, but there's a way that you carry yourself when you're prepared that I think is helping you become a better person, become, I think, a better version of yourself, as opposed to if you were single and you had to deal with your anxieties. You probably find other ways, but marriage has given you this way of dealing with your anxieties that I think it's beautiful for me to see and notice, and the confidence that you developing in spite of your anxieties as well, I think it's just such a dope thing to see and witness.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, seriously, thank you.
No, for real. For real.
I'm also like, oh, flip.
For real, yeah.
But yeah, I think ultimately outside of the silly things, like the silly frustrations, like I'm happy to be married. Like I'm happy. I'm good. Like I'm like, this is a good place.
I would be broke.
You would be so broke. Not because you can't earn money, but because you like to spend it.
And I don't like spending money on things. I'm the guy who's gonna say, oh, it's after church. Where are we hanging out? Yeah, dog, I can't go hang out. No, let's go, bro. I'll pay for stuff.
I remember being in varsity and it'd be Friday night, Friday after school. Black was the only one who had a car. We all pile up in his car. We go to Melville. We do what we do in Melville, and now it's time to go home. And Black is dropping people off
everywhere
Soweto,
in the country.
Like everywhere. Yep. And then I can see the petrol is red, dog. And because orange. I am who I am, right? Because I'm already like, I'm clocking constantly, right? Now Black drops me off and I'm like, dude, do you have petrol? No. And I'm like, so what's the plan here? And like I was the closest to where you lived.
Yep.
And yet I'd be the only one to give you fuel. Because I'm like, this guy just spent his last money so that we could hang out and dropped everybody off.
Yeah.
And I'd go in and be like,
and that's the thing where I'm like, I would be broke.
And the thing is, you weren't panicking. I'm thinking, dude, you're going to get stuck on the road. Or what are you going to do in the morning? You're like, just going to drive home and see what happens.
Yep. I would be broke, bro. I would have multiple round tables if I was single.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be spending my entire salary on buying food for people. And then halfway through the month, I'm like, okay, I don't have any food.
But you'd be fine with it. That's the thing.
I would be fine.
You would not be worried.
And I would say, it's okay. Let's figure this thing out, bro. If I wasn't married to you, girl, I would. And it's not that you like hoard money, but you're good with money. Again, nothing come from a family of accountants. You're good with money. You have a vision for money. You certainly have a better theology of money than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Theology of money.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what that really means. So I'm not sure how to. It's fine. Let me not make you stray.
No, it's okay. And that's a deeper conversation. You're a better steward.
Okay.
Of money.
Okay, that I understand. What is theology?
Because it's true. I mean, we can get into it, but anyway,
okay.
We don't have time now. But I think you have made me realize, the gift that money is, which in some sense my spending habits tell me that it's a gift because I know that money creates experiences, it creates opportunities, environments for people to hang out, So I want to do that because I want to connect with people and etc. But it would be at the detriment of my own livelihood, And I think I've lived because of you. and I can just have a normal existence like normal middle class people in Johannesburg, South Africa, because of you, right? And yeah, I it would be bad, bro. It would be bad.
But you would be fine with it.
Yeah, I would be fine, but would it be fine for me?
No, that's true.
And my life overall?
That's
so
true.
Again,
I'd be your friend being like, I'm Lungisi.
No, you'd help me out.
My guy, this is not okay.
You would help me out. And your husband, who's often in an exotic island, boy, would hate me. Because why do you have to send your friend money all the time? All the time. Like, this dude gets himself in this mess and you have to bail him out. But I would be okay, bro. And maybe it wouldn't matter because I would be a missionary somewhere and I'd be living off, I don't know.
The goodness of other people.
Yeah, because I probably wouldn't get married, and it would just
Sipati would marry you.
Had I gone down that, and I've thought about this before. Shout outs to Sipati for wanting to hang out with a missionary. Dope. But I remember thinking, had I not gotten married when we got married and my life went where we saying it would have, I was not going to get married.
So, it's crazy that you'd say that because that's where I was going to land. That I don't think I would have gotten married.
Yeah.
At all. Because I think my fantasy of what I thought my husband would look like is just, that's not a healthy fantasy to have. Outside of that, I think I would have just been very focused on my career, very focused on myself, and I would not have trusted anyone to that degree. And I don't think anyone with the way you navigated all my fears and doubts and whatever in the beginning, I don't know that. I mean, maybe, there's a lot of people on this world. I just don't think. I didn't know that I needed that. Like I wasn't even aware of how much fears and doubts and anxiety I had, right? Because I didn't have the word for it, anxiety, that you were, working through. I think I probably would have the guy would have been like, bye-bye. I'm tired, bro. And I would have been like, you see, let me just go
find an
immigrate
boy.
and find an island boy. And just, it is what it is.
Nah, 100.
And wear bum shorts should the occasion call for it.
Lord Jesus, please. Thank you. No.
And go on solo locations. So locations are only nice. Okay, I'm going to say they're only nice. But because when I was single, the idea of going on holiday alone was never a concept. But
now
they're
you want
only,
to get away.
No, but they're only as enjoyable. Like I only appreciate the concept now because I know what it takes to be in everyday life. So the idea of flip, I'm away. It's like it's so precious.
Yeah.
So I know most people who are single go away because it's more about getting out of my environment, out of the same walls and the same people. It's more, I'm going to explore. For me, I'm not trying to, maybe I will, but right now the idea of a solo location is not because I want to explore. It's just because I want to be alone. So I can go on a solo location
I can get off this couch. You'll be alone. How many hours do you need?
It's fine.
Should I bring you some chips?
It's not going to be the same because I know that there's a timer.
It's okay. Me and Zaya will go somewhere. It's okay. You can stay here. Oh.
Anyway.
So,
I'm glad
so maybe let's end here, Lillian. I mean, we said it. But yeah, some things that you're grateful for because you are married.
I think just honestly, I know we talk about her a lot, like Zaya, shucks, man, that person is really cool. I'm flip.
She's dope, bro.
She makes me want to be a better person.
She's dope.
Even though at times I want to throw her away, but generally, I generally want to be a better person for her.
Yeah.
But outside of the, I'm saying, the big stuff, and we have fun, we hang out, and we laugh about corruption at 1 a.m, right? I'm grateful for the amount of internal, you've helped me fight my demons. I think, again, went from my house to being with you. I was so tormented in my room. I would be so just, even dealing with the insomnia, where you'll say to me, wake me up when you can't sleep. Even though like you wake up and then you doze off.
But you
like,
never woke me up.
I did wake you up that one time.
That one time.
Yeah, and then you
after
dozed
I
off.
had asked you for,
But you dozed off as I told you it. But.
And you didn't wake me up. I woke myself up that night.
It was kind of the same thing.
You did not wake me up.
You're being unnecessary.
I just woke up, and the reason why I dozed off because I wasn't planning on waking up. But I told you, if you just wake me up, if you'd say, wait, it's what I said to you. If you would say, just jump off this bridge now, you're gonna make it on the other side. Me, I'm doing it. I know I'm gonna sleep, Ken, but I'm gonna fight everything in me. If you say wake up, I'm like, I'm done with life now.
Because I want to wake up and talk.
That's what I'm saying. I'm done with life. This girl wants to talk, but she woke me up. Man, I'm doing this thing, bro.
Okay.
Man, I'm doing this
thing. That gives
thing.
me a new angle to understand this thing from.
Hundreds. And that's what I'm saying. Like, just say, wake up. Anyway.
But anyway, I was saying like when I say my demons, like my internal demons, right? Like, you know, it's the thing of, I remember friends of ours who got married like recently, and she was like, like sometimes I just want to cry on my pillow by myself. And I'm like, I remember doing that, obviously, being single. And the idea was that she was like, oh, now I have this person and I don't know if I can cry. And I'm like, yeah, I would cry on my pillow by myself, but that's where it ended. Like, that was it. Like, we cried. And I'm maybe too embarrassed to talk to my family about what this is, or I can't even totally figure out what it is. And I'm just... But now I'm like, yeah, I went through that as well. I'm like, Gandhi, there's just someone here the whole time. Right?
Okay.
Like, what?
Are you crying?
Yeah. Huh? But now I'm like, to be able to break down with you. And so I do the same breaking down that I would have. But at the end of it, you are helping me navigate a way out. So that's been the biggest thing, because a lot of my conversation, a lot of my development has taken place in those conversations. A lot of the things that have burdened me and really just made life difficult to live internally, like my internal struggles, have been navigated through those conversations. And so that's the thing I'm grateful for. That yes, the monsters in my mind, you know, they do what they do, but I'm only able to even call them the monsters in my mind because I remember us having a conversation and you were naming what the monsters were, and I was like, oh yeah, it's that, okay, cool. And you know, so I think for me it's just my relationship, friendship, marriage with you has made my existing in the world, my experience of how I exist in the world so much better. You know, and that's pretty powerful. Yeah.
You're an island girl.
I'm an island girl. You've brought peace to my land. Black newborn. We love you.
That is good, bro. That's fire. That's a good one. That is a good one.
So let's stay here, ne? Even when I don't close the door and you think I have a tail.
Girl, me, I love you. Girl, you know what you've done for me. Me, I love you, girl. I
thought you said it already.
No, I'm just, and maybe if I did, it's fine, but I'm nganyung you.
Okay, in front of everybody. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I think we speak about like being gracious, being loving, as people.
Yeah.
Man. Like us becoming what we becoming in marriage has pulled that out of me, right? Like, I'm like, okay, you can talk about what grace is, but having to be gracious, having to love you, because when we got married, it was like, godly man, Christian leader, that's what a husband is. Biblical man.
Head of the house.
Right?
God, man, wife, children.
Come on now. Everybody
umbrella.
Yeah. Which is true, right? But living it out,
yeah,
that's a whole other ball game, bro. Because we can talk about the stuff and imagine what it's gonna be like. And it's only this year, in our 9th year, where I was like, all those days where I felt like I'm fumbling here. And I probably was, to a large extent. But it's those days where I'm like, oh, Smike, if I pull back and look at them, I was being molded to be gracious and not just talk about having grace for my wife. I was molded to love my wife and not just talk about how loving her is going to be such a nice thing, You know? Thing that we always say when God comes back and asks me, has your wife become a better person because
and
of you?
You like that stuff. Like, that's your stuff, bro.
But it's true, though.
I know. But I'm
it's
just
true.
like, it's not a peaceful life.
No, it is. It's joy, bro. But I've always thought I'm gonna have that conversation with God, and God is gonna sit there and say, okay, let's see the list, my boy. Right?
Sure.
I called you to be with this girl, to lead, right? So where's your 5-point plan? Did you meet the requirements of the 5-point plan? Right? That's what I thought. But now I'm realizing that the conversation is not going to be that. Because if it was that, then I should have contributed things for myself to my salvation in the first place. But the conversation is when he's asking me, did you become a better person? Right? And what's the word? The reverse of what he's asking me is, did I become more like Jesus? Because that's what's going to make you a better person.
Okay.
You don't become a better person because I'm somehow star player. I became, a perfect husband, which I will never be. But in your struggles and how they're shaping me and grinding against me, I'm becoming gracious. I'm becoming more loving, which is, Christ's character. And so that's what he's actually asking me. Have I become more like Jesus? Because that's what's going to make you a better person, right? And I'm like, oh, Smike, that's what's happening. And that for me, I'm like, okay, I can rest easy and not feel like I'm a hero. I can just enjoy loving you. I can enjoy being gracious. I can enjoy, the tough times when it's rough and you're freaking out. And I'm thinking, okay, girl, just wake me up. I'll sit here. My eyes are painful, it's rough. I'm like, there's no Jesus vision and glory here. But
this isn't what we thought about when we were walking down the aisle.
No, bro.
Yeah.
But it's those moments where I'm like, when I zoom out and 9 years later, I'm like, okay, that's what's happening. Not that that's what's happened as though we've arrived, but that's what's happening.
Right.
So I'm super grateful for that, man. You making me just become a better human. So yeah, and obviously we've established if I was single, I'd be a broke human.
I don't know if I'd be rich or not, but I'd be somewhere.
You'd have a spaza shop with your island boy.
Please.
Serving all the tourists. Yeah.
Me, who doesn't want to come to the round table serving the tourists?
You're just getting the money. Your island boy is the one selling. You're just playing guitar there. For your island
100%. Oh my gosh, yes.
And then the tourists are like, oh, that's so nice.
Just
You're
a
like,
lefty, weird person. And like I paint. Really bad paintings. Anyway, guys.
This is good.
Thanks for the chat.
Yeah.
And indulging this conversation.
I don't want to be single, Michael. It's just when I'm pissed.
Don't want to be a player no more.
Yeah, anyway. All right.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We need to thank our listeners.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll see you on the flip, man. That was dope. We getting off the couch.
Okay.
We'll see.
Because I have a cramp
on the couch with the people.
I keep shifting.
All right.
Cool, guys. See you on the next one.
Peace.